Welcome back to Danganronpa Another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. We have made it to Towa Hills, the headquarters of the kids, the Warriors of Hope, and we now have a few challenge rooms ahead of us on our way through here.
The game corner again?
Nice, break ammunition, I'll take that. Let's start up this first challenge.
Use that guy to step on the switch, which opens the door, and then the bomb? Ugh, God, I'm confused.
That's okay, Komaru, we can work this out. The rule is destroy them all at once. So, let's have a think about how we want to do this. We need that door to be open, but we need that bomber to be next to everyone else. So we have a Monokuma here that we can link, and I think that's how we need to do this. Let's move you over here. And then activate this. Link you again. Have you stand on that. That should allow us to get around here safely. We'll need to move this car first, though. And then knock back this Monokuma. Maybe? Yeah, that worked. So it was the chain reaction between the bombers that really was the key to solving that one. We did it. As you can see from the decor and from the symbol that was outside of the room, this is Jataro's room, and I guess perhaps he designed it. I really like the insects and stuff. It's a really cool theme. It actually reminds me a little bit of Berg, the bug-type gym leader who also happens to be an artist in Pokemon Black and White. And when we come up here, the theme continues and...
This looks like the room of that mask kid. Tools everywhere. Oh, it smells like paint thinner. Oh, paint thinner. No wonder I was feeling a little loopy.
This is Jataro's bedroom. And it looks like what you would expect the little Ultimate Arts bedroom to look like. I said that I really like Jataro because it feels like he actually uses his talent, whereas the other kids don't, and I think that's really clear here. This painting over here looks fantastic, and I think we all know who that is. It all seems fine until you look up. You get to have a look at some more things on his desk. And this is what we're here for.
Hey, if we use the remote control, we can move the robot, right?
It seems dangerous to just start playing with it. Why don't you touch it?
Yay! The robot moved!
And now we can head out through this little balcony window here. And once we've moved Jataro's robot, there is a collectible here. I shouldn't have had him. There's so much I can do if my son didn't exist. So much I could have done if I'd never had him. I could have obtained qualifications and licenses, taken lessons, worked more. Instead, my entire life is just a platform for my son's life. I think about it every night before I go to sleep. If I woke up in the morning and my son was dead, how splendid would that be? But every time I wake up and see him, I sigh. Why are you still alive? Why do you have a normal life? I yearn for the day he stops being healthy and stops growing and just disappears. That's all I want. Why can't you just do something that simple for me? I want him to die so badly it makes me cry, and the fact that he has such a worthless face just makes me even more sad. It makes me think I'm the one who's wrong. I shouldn't have had you. I think you were the one who was wrong. Throughout the game until now, we've seen what happened to these kids and why they ended up the way they did. Though that can't be used as an excuse, we at least got to see their thought process. And this note does a similar thing. It doesn't excuse what Jataro's mother did in any way, but it at least allows us to see inside her mind. Let's head on into the second challenge room.
It's that arcade machine again.
Oh, full on ammo, okay. Well, let's see what this room has for us. I seem to recall this was a tricky one.
It's mostly flooded. Be careful that you don't shock yourself.
So the rule is destroy them all with electricity, but as Toko said, most of this room is flooded, so we'll need to be standing in the only place where there is no water on the ground. There's already a Monokuma there. This one took me a really long time to work out. I actually think this is the most complex challenge room in the game. So let's see if we can work this out. Okay, let's think this one through carefully. We need to move the Monokumas so that they don't obstruct our path. So we'll move that one to the south. And we'll move this guy over here to the west. That gives us a clear path all the way around to the top here, as long as this rotating Monokuma doesn't see us. As I said, this is a pretty complex one. Let's make sure we're using third person to our advantage to know when the Monokuma is turning around. And now we can move past. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm not sure if sprinting actually causes the Monokumas to detect you, but I'm not going to take that risk. Okay, so what we need to do here is not actually link this Monokuma like I thought, but move it using that hologram. Now we need to head back down to where we were. Again, trying not to be spotted by this rotating Monokuma here. Okay, that's good. And then we need to activate this one to move this Monokuma when it turns. There we go. That allows us to stand on the only patch of dry. We paralyzed them all, since they're all standing on the water, and we did it. As I said, very elaborate, very complex. Let's make sure we get some drops out of this as well. And now we can move on. Again, I really love the style in these rooms. And now here we are in Kotoko's room.
Does that pervert grade schooler live here? You know, the one who stole your...
I said nothing happened!
Yes, this is Kotoko's room. And on the bed over here, new skill, Unwavering Girl Power. This is our final upgrade to healing, so now we should be getting 4 hearts for every heart drop that we pick up. And since we have maximum health, health really shouldn't be an issue anymore. She's got a little TV here with the strawberry theme. She really does like strawberries. A couple of little drawings on here. We've got some cake. We got, what does that say? Kotoko Hime, so Princess Kotoko. Looks like some kind of Danganronpa novel there. There's all sorts going on. But again, what we're here for is the controller.
Now we can open the door.
And just like before, we get ourselves a collectible. For the sake of my daughter. Her thing is worth like 8 times more than mine. Younger women. Thing is, poor bitch doesn't understand that she's worth more the younger she is. If you're looking for cost effectiveness, you gotta sell it while you're still young. But it's a waste of time telling a 10-year-old any of that, I guess. That's why Mummy has to sell it for you. I'll sell it with you as a set. Even if you cry and say it hurts or it's too scary, the men still pay. Sometimes they even pay more. Even tears have value. Being young is a horrifying thing. It's not like I want money, it's not like I want to entrust my dream to my daughter, it's not like I'm a pervert. I do this. All of this for the love of my child. I do it for her sake, so she can sparkle forever. No matter how much she hates me, or how much society will beat me up for it, I know my actions are right. It's the parents' job to shine the spotlight on their child. Again, similarly to the note we read about Jataro, we cannot excuse this is morally abhorrent, but nonetheless it's an interesting insight into the parents, and to me it shows that they were just as unstable, perhaps more so, than their children. We have no idea, and we can only guess what happened to the parents to make them this way, but I think it's quite clear to see what the game is trying to tell us is that there is a cycle that is being perpetuated here. Let's ring this bell.
Nice! Now we can keep going.
What a pain. After all this, they're still playing games.
Let's keep heading on.
Another robot.
There's no way it would end with those two robots from earlier. Not with these developers.
Yes, thank you Toko for your complete disregard of the fourth wall. Let's grab a save point. You know what? I'm gonna save Nagisa's room for last. Let's head over here, grab a mono machine. Which was completely useless, great. And let's head into Masaru's challenge room.
It's that arcade machine again.
Let's see what Masaru's challenge has for us then.
4 aberrant Monokumas. We might be able to defeat them in one go if we get the right angle.
This one's all about the timing. We've got 4 junk Monokumas and we've got a car that we need to ram into them. First of all, we need to make sure that we move the other cars so that we have a clear shot. Don't move them all, because if you were to move the second and third ones, you'd block your path. And we'll need to wait for these guys to rotate back around. They're taking their time. But once they're in position, they'll stay there for a little while. And then we can shoot the final car. And that should run all of them down. Nice. Yep, very much timing based on that one.
That PE idiot must live here. This room reeks of insecurity and overcompensation.
Do you have some kind of grudge against athletic people, Toko?
I think she definitely does. So we got a collectible here on the floor, and perhaps you wanted to have a look around first before you picked it up, as I do very often. Well, guess what? You can't. Masaru Diamond's diary. No doubt about it, Monika's the best. Just trust in Monika, and even brain rinsing is easy as pie. As long as they wear the Monokuma head, everyone's our ally. If this keeps up, the paradise will be completed in no time. And when that happens, I'll bring peace to the entire world next.
Toko, about this brain rinse part.
He clearly means brainwash.
Brainwashing? Does that really exist? I've only seen that in science fiction.
No, that level of technology was developed long ago. Technology like that can't exactly be advertised to the public, can it? I figured this was the case. The masterminds made the other kids wear those helmet things to brainwash them.
That's even more reason we gotta stop the adults from fighting the children. I mean, if they were under mind control, they aren't really to blame at all, right?
I know how you feel, but it's better if you don't think about that.
Huh? What do you mean?
I know that you're growing, but I have a bad feeling about this. The way you've grown, I feel like this whole situation has been a setup.
Setup? By who?
The one who teamed up with that white-haired guy, trying to bring you all the way here. And here you are, right in the kids' HQ. It's exactly as that person planned.
But even if that's true, if I just run away, I can't do anything about this war, right?
Right, but
It's going to be all right. I don't know whose idea this was, or why they're doing this, but as long as we stop this violence, nothing else matters.
You're right. We've come this far. Only thing to do now is believe in ourselves and go for it. You're really starting to sound like him now.
You think so?
Don't blush! It's just like I said, brother complex.
So that reveals quite a lot about our situation here, how the Monokuma kids were brainwashed into acting the way they've acted, and perhaps it wasn't of their own free will. I still think there's more to it than that, and there is more to explain as the game goes on. I also really like that interaction between Komaru and Toko, and there's been a lot of hints so far about this being a setup. Nagito pretty much gave us that information, that he wanted Komaru to be here and in this situation, and here she is. But the way that Komaru responds to that, saying, well, I have to do this anyway, Komaru is now truly acting of her own free will. She's not here just because Nagito or Monica or even Haiji forced her to be here. She's here because she had the choice to leave and chose not to. Let's have a look around Masaru's room before we do anything else. We can see some of his football jerseys hanging up on the wall here. Little known fact, I used to be really big into football when I was a kid, which I suppose isn't that strange since I am British and we love football. The jerseys on the wall here are the Japanese national team's jerseys. The crest over there is that of the Brazilian national football team. And the one over there is Juventus, which is an Italian football team. I like this Monokuma goalkeeper as well. A lot of nice little details in here, and then some less nice details. But I mean, Masaru was always quite immature. Got some magazines about football as well, and then a little canister of Proteinzyme X as well. There's even some baseball stuff here as well, so it really is sporty across the board.
Yay! The robot moved!
I don't know why it needs to be 3 separate button presses to take us from the room back down here, why we have to open the door, then open the hatch, then climb down the ladder. That seems a little overcomplicated. That useless, shitty brat. I ordered my son to go buy alcohol. I even gave him the money. He comes back home empty-handed. He said something about not having ID or something. Whatever, who cares? I trained the boy. I made him go do it one more time, and then he comes back with alcohol. The next day the cops show up. Apparently the little shit stole it. The brat humiliated me, but I trained him good. As soon as the cops left. I hate my son's face when I'm teaching him a lesson. And smiley forces so that I'll stop hitting him creeps me out. You can't just cry or yell like a regular kid. Shit, I got myself a defective product. I mentioned before about a cycle being perpetuated here, and reading this reminds me of the very beginning of the game. At the end of the prologue, when the Warriors of Hope are celebrating, Masaru says, "Someone go and buy some soda." It's a little thing and maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like that was intentional. Now let's do Nagisa's challenge room.
This arcade machine is everywhere, isn't it?
Hey, we actually got some ammo, some Link ammo.
This room feels different than the others. It's less of a fighting stage and more like a riddle.
Appropriate for Nagisa. And note the music that's playing isn't the regular challenge room theme, it's actually the Monokuma Kid challenge theme. A nice little detail. A proverb-like passage is displayed here. Use the thing that only you can see, and the thing that only others see in precise order. To proceed, we need to put a code into this laptop. And when it says the thing that you can see and the thing that only others can see, it's referring to the number that we can only see through this camera. And using Link, we'll be able to see that all the Monokumas have a number that they can see themselves. So this one is 9. This siren is 4. The shield is 3. And the bomber is 8. So there are 5 numbers, but we have no hint on what order to put them in. Well, fortunately, over here is our other hint. So it says shield, nothing, siren, bomber. My picture. Oh no, it was just a mirror. So the mirror represents what we can see. So, knowing that the bomber is 3, we are 0, the siren is 4, and the bomber is 8, the code should be 3048. I really like the choice to make this challenge about thinking, because it's Nagisa's challenge. It's really appropriate for him as a character. Fighting was always a last resort for him, so I feel like it's very fitting that we had that kind of challenge.
So many reference books. I feel nauseous.
I feel right at home. Maybe you already forgot this, but I'm a liberal arts girl.
There is no possible way you would let us forget that, Toko, but yeah, I agree. I love this room. This is my favorite of all the kids' rooms. The design on the wall, the stars, and everything like that. I would actually love a bedroom like this, especially with all the books. Blue thread from the scarred mountain. As I live here, in the village deep down in the mountains, I dream about you every night. On my thin futon on the creaking kitchen floor. From the author of So Lingers the Ocean, Toko Fukawa's long-awaited new novel. Huh? Is this another one of your books? It says Toko Fukawa's latest work right there, genius. How many books have you written, Toko? Never really counted before. Let me think. If we're talking about novels, I'd say more than 80. 80?
Nothing.
It's not so surprising. I wrote every single day after all. And it's not the quantity that matters, it's the quality. Only third-rate companies value quantity. As expected of an ultimate. But are you getting antsy lately since you haven't been able to write? Oh yeah, I'm aching to get all these raging emotions onto a manuscript. I'm worried if I don't get these babies out, my creative womb is going to explode. Yeah, that sounds bad.
And?
What about you? What do you want to do when you get out of here? Well, lots of stuff really. I want to go to school and eat my mom's cooking, and there's a lot of manga to read. And also, I want to go on a picnic with you. A picnic? A virgin dude's date of choice?
You see.
It's just that I haven't really seen a nice peaceful blue sky lately. So when I get out of this place, I want to go on a picnic with you. Under a clear, sunny blue sky, I want to do all the cliche things, like eat sandwiches.
I see.
Even when you're fantasizing, you're normal. Well, if I don't have any engagement ceremonies with Masterplan that day, I'll think about it.
Toko!
You said you'd go. It's a promise then. I said I'd think about it. It's too early to think about that kind of stuff until we escape.
Alright!
Well, the way I see it, I'm definitely going to escape. You think the same way, don't you? That's true, but I guess I'm just surprised by how much you've changed in this short time. People change. Cut the attitude. I should make a daily routine of lubing up your doorknob with salad dressing.
Stop it!
Ew, please don't. I never want to go home. I really like how Komaru has embraced her normal girl thing. There are times where she doesn't like it, There's times where she uses it as an excuse, but in interactions like that with Toko, and I said it before, she really brings Toko down to earth. And in Danganronpa, when you've got so many really elaborate, complicated characters that are all ultimates, that are all the very best at something, to have someone quite normal to bring them back down to earth is really, really valuable. I feel like that's what Makoto does to a degree in the first game, and Hajime in the second game. And now Komaru takes on that role as well as a protagonist, and it's something that I've always liked about the characterization in this game. So there are lots and lots of books here, but there is also something that is not quite high literature. That is the same picture that's on the poster in the locker room in Danganronpa 1, incidentally. And this little writing here, I believe, says Nagisa loves Monika. I have a feeling that Nagisa probably didn't write that. The other kids had a lot of graffiti and such in their room, but this is very well kept and very tidy, so I feel like that was probably Masaru that wrote that. Something that's actually really interesting about this, to me, if you'll allow me a little language-related tangent, is that this is the only time that Monika's name is written in hiragana, and I believe that's because someone else wrote it, but from all official sources, Monika's name is written in katakana, which is only used for loanwords from other languages and words that have been made up. And though it could be a bit ambiguous, her name is Japanese because it does have an official kanji spelling as well. We'll talk more about that later. So that's all 4 of the robots moved, and this is our last collectible. Debating on switching subjects. I cannot obtain the result I was expecting with my experiment. I cannot discern whether the environment or the subject himself is the problem. I shall look into the experiment conditions in more detail. Until now, I've used solely visual observation, but I should erect cameras to watch the subject at all times, and discipline the subject when resting longer than allowed. If I do not obtain any desirable results with the experiment, I will conclude that the problem lies with the subject, and change my experimental target. Not a single word about father or son, family in any way, shape, or form there, and that's the relationship that Nagisa had with his parents. Let's move on.
That Monika girl was the only one who didn't have a room.
What? She gets special treatment or something just because she's the mastermind?
A valid point. We saw the other 4 Warriors of Hope in their bedrooms, but not Monika's.
So this is a real office, huh? Do you think I could ever have my own office someday?
I think another ice age would come before you end up in a place like this.
Towa Hills is huge. That was only the first area of several, and we have a lot more really big areas to go through. I talked in the last part about scale, and the final chapter of this game really does scale well. I love it. Hey. Hey. Ow! Oh my goodness. Can you stop, please? Man, that did not go well for me in the slightest. Let's deal with these bombers as well. Well, I took more hits there than I wanted to. No, that gold coin's gonna despawn. Oh well. I believe... Yeah, here we go. There's a collectible here. Alien. When I heard there was going to be a new member of our family, I wasn't expecting much, but somehow I'm still disappointed. We get this brat inside our house now. I have no idea what she's thinking. She and her whole attitude don't belong here. Food tastes disgusting when I have to eat with this alien, and look at her smile. Everything she does nauseates me. I have a bad feeling about this. I can't shake the feeling that my family is going to go to pieces because of her. And my intuition is almost always right. No context on what that note is about. And I believe if we head off to the other side here... Absolutely nothing. Okay, great. I suppose they can't put something in every little corner of the game, because then it would be too obvious.
It's no use. It's not budging.
Do we need a card key, like we did for the elevator at Towa Tower?
Then we can't use this elevator, huh?
But it doesn't look like the other elevator's gonna move, so we have to work with this one.
Wait a minute. Would Haiji maybe have a card key? He is the heir to the Towa group.
Even if he did, that coward mole is in the middle of a fight with his Big Bang Monokuma.
The coward mole you're talking about. That wouldn't be me, would it?
Haiji!
Why are you here?
Same reason you're here. You're looking for the device to control Monokumas, right?
You too?
The Monokumas from all over Towa swarmed me all at once. Even with Big Bang, there were too many. So the plan's changed. Destroy the controller first, make the enemy lose their edge. After the Monokumas are out of the picture, we're just dealing with kids. We can turn this around.
Is that Shirakuma's advice?
Huh? So what if it is?
No, nothing.
But I had no idea you two were already here. No wonder we didn't run into too many of them.
Anyways, good timing. Do you have a card key for this elevator?
No, we don't need a card key for this. This elevator only works with retinal identification.
Retinal? Is that an animal?
Retinal means eye.
What? Why is it locked in the first place? This lock shouldn't be on unless it's been manually set. Last time I saw it was open, so who locked it? Don't tell me. Is this also her doing? She trying to toy with me?
Stop your creepy mumbling to yourself and open it. Your eyes will work fine, won't they?
No. The only thing that can release the lock is the eyes of Towa Group's chairman.
The chairman? Your father? You said he was missing.
Missing, right. I only said that because I didn't want to admit it. The old man is dead. The kids killed him.
What?
Wait a minute. If he was killed, then retinal scanning isn't even gonna work anymore.
No, as long as we have his eyes, the scanner should still work. So, all we gotta do is bring the old man's body back here.
His body?
Yeah. I think that's what whoever locked this door wanted me to do. After all, his body is on this floor.
On this floor?
Yeah, on this floor for sure. He was killed right before my eyes. The old man was killed in the chairman's office on this floor. Throat torn out by Monokumas. I ran away, but I'm sure his body is still in the office. The chairman's office should be at the end of the hall over there. I'll leave the rest to you.
You're not coming with us?
If I have to go along with their sick little games, I'd rather give up entirely. Besides, it might be faster to just destroy this whole building with Big Bang Monokuma.
What are you talking about? We're still in this building.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Haiji. He's acting different now for some reason. And who's the her he mentioned? Let's try the chairman's office. Although, I can't say I'm excited about what we'll find.
Yeah, the more we talk to Haiji, the more unsettling it gets to talk to Haiji. He's alluding to a lot of things now that he won't tell us, and again, he just kind of leaves without even bothering to try and help us. And as I said, there are a lot of reasons I don't like Haiji, and as we get towards the end of the game, they'll become even more apparent. He's gonna leave us to deal with the chairman's body and find a way through that door, but we'll do that in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.